With the Scarlet and Violet era having so many booster boxes and other products that are just so high in price, we have so many booster boxes over the $200 mark now for the Scarlet and Violet era. I still genuinely believe that Sword and Shield is probably your safest bet. You don't have to worry about reprints, and I still think that there's a lot of affordable Sword and Shield booster boxes to be picked up. And I know a lot of talk on my channel and other channels is booster boxes, booster boxes, booster boxes. And while, that is the main focus of what I try to pick up for my collection is booster boxes because I do think that they do perform the best long term. And, as a collector, that's what I want, booster boxes. I want to open and collect booster boxes. However, I do think that ETBs have their place, and I think there's a lot of Sword and Shield ETBs that are shooting up right now. That if you want to get into the Sword and Shield era, you don't have to worry about the reprints and still get some of those better top tier Sword and Shield era sets. Then ETBs can be a good entry point for that, and we're gonna do a little bit of a comparison. I think there's some interesting. Especially when you start comparing some SV ETBs to where some of the Sword and Shield ETBs are at. I do think it is interesting. So let's just jump straight into it. And I wanted to start off with Fusion Strike. You can see, this is one that they got market at 138. You can see it's up 37% right here in the past 3 months. And if we scroll down, lowest listeds right now are at, this is like 145 with shipping, which matches this most recent sale. So coming up even a little bit more. So what we're seeing a little bit happen, I think, with the ETBs, and if we zoom out to the 1 year, obviously we're nearing or at all-time highs on this ETB. We're starting to see the pack value start to match the booster box pack value. So back in the Sword and Shield era, you do only get 8 packs from these ETBs. Now we're looking at the regular ETBs in this instance, not the Pokemon Center ones, because I don't think that there's quite as much value in the Pokemon Center ones depending on the set. They don't have the stamped, promo that we get in the SV era from the Pokemon Center. But at this current price, we'll say 145. 145 divided by 8 packs. That's pretty expensive per pack there at $18. And then if you look at what the booster box is at, and the booster box has been kind of stagnating for a while for Fusion Strike. It did shoot up big, and it's been in this like mid to upper $400 range for the past 3 months. And you can see most recent sale at like 475. So if you do 475 divided by 36, you're at $13. So this is a bit more expensive here per pack, right? But you can see this is obviously at an all-time high, continuing to climb now. That's not the same example for every set. Some of the other sets, the per pack price is starting to even out. So that's a little bit of an example where we're starting to see the ETB become not the same. But affordability wise, not everybody can afford currently to pick up a $475 booster box. However, I still believe that even with a set like Fusion Strike, moving forward, that this booster box is going to just perform extremely well. Give it a few more years. Obviously, like, Evolving Skies, I picture as the lead blocker, leading the way, setting the price, and then, all the other lesser sets will follow. So it's just one of those things where if you want to get into Sword and Shield, there is some better options still, even with the ETBs. I do think, the conversation is always had of and I've in the past said booster boxes are the way, don't do ETBs, but that maybe was a little nearsighted of me, and I wasn't looking as far in the future, because there's always going to be the collector who wants to get into the set, and they don't want to pay the booster box price. That's always going to be a thing. We have seen from Fusion Strike, chase card, the Gengar VMAX has been dropping, back from February 750 down to 640. So dropping quite a bit, and the booster box being kind of stagnant, but the ETB moving up. So we are seeing that as a little bit of a trend there with Fusion Strike. ETB moving up, everything else stagnant or moving down. Even sets like Chilling Rain. Now, some of these have, multiple. This is the Ice Rider Calyrex box. There's different boxes, right, for some of these sets that have two artworks on them. They're the same thing, just with different artworks. But you can see here, even with Chilling Rain up 47% in the past 3 months, moving up from $55. Now these are around 82 on TCG. Most recent sale around 75, so you might be able to get these a little bit cheaper. Also, make sure to that you're checking eBay pricing, checking other places as well. While TCG Player is very convenient, and it's not that you can't get good deals on TCG Player, but make sure you shop around when you're looking at some of this stuff. But Chilling Reign, roughly around 80 bucks, and you can see obviously over the last year it's looked really good. These were very affordable a year ago before the big boom, but we're still at 80 bucks in ETB. So it comes out to around, you're just $8 per pack ish is what you're looking at for Chilling Reign. Maybe a little less if you're able to get it in the $70 mark, right? So you're able to get into a set for a little bit more reasonable price, and you don't have to worry about reprints and stuff like that. Evolving Skies now, once again, this is a very expensive ETB, $250, $260 currently. This is the Flareon, Jolteon, Umbreon, Leafeon. There's two versions of the regular ETB, still 8 packs. So you could do the math, still getting very expensive. But Evolving Skies, the booster boxes are stagnating as well, right? They're just like kind of leveling off or coming down a tiny bit. And that's not bad. That's after some big growth, right? It wasn't that long ago that Evolving Skies boxes were under $1,000, really. So but we are still seeing the ETB continue to rise in value. So that's kind of what we're talking about. The ETBs are maybe getting a little bit of their time to shine. I definitely know that there was a time not that long ago too where ETBs you could say were undervalued, especially if you play like the per pack game price. A lot of people were always saying, why are booster boxes more expensive when you're going per pack? But there is that booster box premium that happens. But Evolving Skies ETBs, obviously, like look at this chart. You haven't really seen. We did see a year ago, $100, 105, and then there was like a flat off period, July to about September, where it was around 130, 140, right? So it did level off, but like this has been just like climbing, like pretty steadily. Especially if you draw like a straight line across these, has been a very linear, very up trajectory on the ETBs. So if you want to get in, the best set of the era, Evolving Skies, ETBs are a lot more affordable as well. So, and obviously, Evolving Skies is going to continue to do well. That's the biggest no-brainer. Moving forward, I mostly believe in. Obviously, Evolving Skies, Lost Origin, and Fusion Strike are my tops. I like Lost Origin a lot. I really like the Tina here, and Lost Origin. There was a time too where there was I remember Lost Origin and Silver Tempest ETBs were very affordable, and then they had a lot of those TikTok coupons. If you like made a new account, you could sometimes get like up to 40% off on the TikTok shop, and you could get like 20 to $18, like $18, $20 ETBs shipped for a while. That was a wild time. But anyways, obviously much different time now. This ETB going from 60 up to around 90, and it's been at 90 for a little bit, just not that. It's kind of holding right here since it looks like the end of March. But if we zoom out right here, obviously we're seeing an all-time high on the Lost Origin ETB. So this comes out to this is over $8 per pack in the $90 range, but still you're looking at an ETB from a good set under $100 currently, and much cheaper than the booster box. So maybe a good pickup for some people. Silver Tempest with the Vulpix on the box up 58%, a similar thing. Now this is $71, $72. This, like I said, this was one of those ones that was very affordable for a while. Coming in the later, like towards the end of the Sword and Shield era. And I still like I said, I still like booster boxes of these sets. Even Silver Tempest, Brilliant Stars, I would put, and Astral, I put those kind of like as my tier 2 boxes behind Evolving Skies, LO, and Fusion Strike. So, but yeah, Silver Tempest, obviously the Lugia Chase, I think is an absolutely stunning card. But up 58% here, and we do the 1 year. And you could see, these were like look how cheap these were a year ago, 28 bucks. So yeah, obviously with those TikTok coupons, depending on where you were getting them from, that was one of the products. But yeah, so a lot of this growth happening from December on. You can see, so it's pretty big, big growth happening a little bit more recently on Silver Tempest. So, like I said, it's not one of the upper tier sets, but I do think it's kind of like in that tier two category. Um, then here's another example. I did pull this up of Brilliant Stars, so you can see just a visual of what the ETBs have been, or sorry, the booster boxes have been doing. Rather, these shot up to just under 300, and this was back in October, $180. You can see a lot of sales here in November to December when they cracked 200, and then they went almost to three in January, and then since pretty much this whole for the most part, all of this year they've just been kind of holding 280, 290, right? And then you jump over to the ETB, and the ETB is continuing to climb up 57%. Currently at $82, or most recent sale at 70. So you're probably around 80, depend in between the two. 10 $10 per pack is what you're looking at there. What is the let's just check this real quick. What is this? So this would be like 290. I just want to see where this is adding up. So this is at $8 per pack for the booster box. So there is a little bit of a difference there. So the per pack price off a little bit again, but you can see the ETB moving up, and once again, still more affordable. Not everyone is going to want to spend, and understandably so. Not everyone is on the same budget, right? The same argument can be applied. So here's the thing, too. This wasn't really supposed to be like the just a side point. When it comes to if you're wanting to get into these sets and you want to have some, sleeved booster packs, they're the most affordable. You can pick up sleeved packs as well, and then so you kind of have like entry points for every budget. And sleeve packs are cool. I like sleeve packs much better than loose packs. I like a sleeved. So that's the very ultra affordable option. So, and that's goes across the board for these sets. But the Brilliant Stars ETB 120% on the year. You can see it did shoot up in July to around 50 and then came back down to the 40s. And similar thing, December is kind of where the growth started to happen for this set. But obviously we're seeing an all-time high on the Brilliant Stars ETB as well. So these ETBs starting to get expensive. They are nice display pieces. I will say that too. The artwork being big, and usually featuring just like one Pokemon or depending on the set. So you can see I have a few back here, Lost Origin and the Silver Tempest. I do think that they're nice display pieces. They're bigger than booster boxes too, so if you like to have those shown off, like you can see the booster boxes behind me, but they don't have, even just within my little small thumbnail image size thing that I have going on right here with the webcam. The booster boxes, the art you can't really see, so they are nice to have just as display pieces too. I do think that they look nice, so there's definitely that collectability aspect of having the ETBs, because they are fun to display. They are larger though. They take up a lot more space. The booster boxes are much more efficient, definitely. Astral Radiance is one that has leveled off a little bit. It started leveling off early March. It's kind of around $70. So a little bit more affordable of a set. I do like Astral Radiance as well. You got the Machamp, the Starmie. I think it's a decent set. I like it, but a little bit more affordable one as far as prices go, and it still is like pretty much at this all-time high. You can see a very affordable dip right here. It was $35 in December, and now we're seeing around 70. So up not as much on the year, 85%. For Astral Radiance. But yeah, so ETBs are available. They are a lot more affordable. When it comes to the secondary market picking them up. And then you have like definitely a weaker set, I would say, overall. But Battle Styles being one of the most affordable at $60 for an ETB. There's two versions of this. I think there's a blue one as well. But this one's up, at an all-time high again, right? $60 in ETB here. So definitely more affordable. It's like I said, the Battle Style is probably not the best set, but if you're once again, if you're looking to add something to your collection, not that Battle Styles can't do good long term either. There are some cards that I actually really do like from Battle Styles. And then here, if you start to look, this is the interesting part, and obviously these are most of the sets we're looking at right now for Sword and Shield are mainline sets, right? So they have booster boxes and ETBs. So this this initial one isn't maybe the most fair comparison, because Paldean Fates is a specialty set. It doesn't have booster boxes, right? But and we'll talk about some other ones that do. But I just wanted to make a little bit of a comparison. Paldean Fates, regular ETB, obviously, you get more packs. It is 9 packs of this era, so there is one more pack than we had before. But you're looking at 130 roughly for a Paldean Fates ETB. So and people are chasing the Bubble Mew and stuff. Paldean Fates is a fun set to open. But when you start to look at this, and like I said, it is a specialty set, so it's not exactly the same comparison. But you can pick up like this is 80, this is 70. What else did we have? Fusion Strike. You're pretty much right there. Obviously, Fusion Strike you could pay a little bit more and get a Fusion Strike ETB, one of those higher tiered Sword and Shield era sets. And you're not gonna have to worry about reprints when it comes to Sword and Shield. So, like I said, this isn't necessarily it's like I'm acknowledging that this is a little bit different. But however, you can look at this Surging Sparks, which one of the better SV era sets currently, right? These are just under 100. You can see market at 97. So this is a more fair comparison. Like I said, one more pack included, but you are getting this is an ETB from a mainline set that has booster boxes as well. So when you start to look at, like I said, well, obviously, like Lost Origin, which is a set that I really like a lot. I like LO a lot, and this is at 90 versus your Surging Sparks at 97. So you can see, obviously there's something to be said there. More packs though, so do that what you will. And then your Silver Tempest, your Brilliant Stars right here. So definitely some super affordable Sword and Shield ETBs when comparing. And then you have like your Journey Together, which is your newest set. And these have dropped recently at 68. They've been continuing to drop in price. And Journey, more of a mid-tier set, in my opinion, but still around $68. And obviously not that long ago. We go to the beginning of the month. Right here, like late March, early. These were in the 80s, and people were buying them here, and then release was like right here, right? So these have dropped in price quite a bit, but even so, like comparatively, you can get so 68. What was one of those other ones that was like, okay, you could pay $3 more and get a Silver Tempest ETB, if that's more of your style, right? And once again, you don't have to worry about reprints. You have a good chase card. I think Silver Tempest is a fun set. So, and then obviously you got a Vulpix on here. This ETB obviously art style. There's a lot of colors going on here. All the ETB designs are usually pretty good across the board, anyways. So obviously like Surging Sparks is a fun one too. Like they've done a great job with the ETBs. This one doesn't really pop quite as much, but they've done a really good job making them pop and stuff. So that aspect, being collector's items, the ETBs are kind of cool for that as well. And that is something that I've really started to kind of appreciate more the longer I've been in this. And initially, I wasn't really a sealed collector as much. I was just picking up sealed to have it go up in value for the most part. But the longer I've been in it and the more like I like seeing it displayed, it makes me happy picking up the ETBs and seeing what they look like. And booster boxes as well. But like I said, there's just a different display factor. Now that we're full screen, you can still tell like you can probably figure out what these booster boxes are up here. But they're a little smaller. And, you can definitely see what the Lost Origin and Silver Tempest ETBs are right off the bat. So, once again, it's not always about displaying them or anything, but I just wanted to make this video just to talk about some more affordable stuff. Sword and Shield era, I still think is, for me, like what I'm trying to pick up right now is Sword and Shield, for the most part. Obviously for me, too, like moving forward with Destined Rivals and the new sets, at or near MSRP is what I'm aiming for, but it can be difficult to get those sets. because there's just so much demand and not enough product out there and all of that, right? So, but Sword and Shield is readily available on the secondary market. It's there to be had, I think, at affordable pricing, and it's just kind of one of those situations where right now we're in April of 2025, but fast forward a few years, and we'll be doing that same thing of even like right now, when you pull up the charts and you go, man, a year ago, this was this price, should have picked up more. What was I thinking? We're definitely going to be in that situation and been like, man, we could have at least even been picking up ETBs, booster boxes, whatever the set case may be moving forward. So I like Sword and Shield a lot. I guess that's what this was about. And then, like I said, I do believe too that to a certain extent, sleeved boosters and there's other entry points along the way. So it doesn't. If you want to just if you want some of these sets and you want to have and there's nothing wrong with having sleeved boosters. Like everyone's on different budgets, everyone's on different time frames. And I think sleeve boosters are cool. You could hang sleeve boosters and have those displayed as well. I think that that's cool. You could do I've seen some people who get the like from a GameStop or from their LGS, like when they're done with like those little hanging displays, like the cardboard ones. I've seen people put those up before, and that could be kind of cool. I mean, I've tried to get one, but my GameStop went out of business, and anyways, because I thought that would be cool to have in here and just have it like set up as a display. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of different ways you could take it, but that's all I have for you guys in this one. Just wanted to talk about that. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comments. And then also, there should be a video popping up here shortly for a giveaway. We're doing the biggest giveaway that we've done on the channel. Just my way of saying thank you, giving back to you guys. So yeah, if you guys want to watch that video, make sure you enter because I am excited about that. We're doing a push towards 20K subscribers. Very excited. But that's all I have for this one, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. And remember, it was never face.